Earlier on tonight's program, we told you how Elon Musk grew, tired of some of the questions on last night's earnings call. Take a listen.
We're going to go to YouTube. Sorry. These questions are so dry. They're killing me.
They were killing him, apparently. This is what he meant by go to YouTube. Right here, Gali Russell. He runs a YouTube page devoted to news about Tesla, and he got on the call after asking Elon Musk on Twitter if he could join in. Gali, thanks so much for being here. I have to ask you right off the bat, what was your reaction when you got that invitation? And then he actually called on you during the call.
Yeah, I was blown away. I mean, the real crazy moment for me was when he replied to my tweet asking if I could be on the call with just the word okay. And so that was like a mind-blowing moment for me.
Well, I hate to tell you, you probably annoyed everyone on the call except for Elon Musk. But at the end of the day, what did you want to know? I mean, you are a man who has most of his money in Tesla right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I was representing retail investors on the call. Over 200 people emailed in for Tesla, representing over $20 million of shareholder capital, vouching for me to get a question because they just don't feel like Wall Street analysts are asking the things that long-term investors want to know about.
Okay, but what was the question then? I mean, what did you want to know?
Yeah, so I had about 10 to 12 questions that I asked. I wanted to get to everything.
Give us the top line. What was it?
One of the biggest ones was on the autopilot and status of the Tesla network, because Waymo is launching their fully self-driving service this year. So I was curious. We haven't heard many updates about Tesla's, robot taxi plans, which is something they mentioned. So we got a lot more clarity on that, which I thought was great.
Okay, so now what did you think of the call? Because most people were quite annoyed. He broke, as I said before, the golden rule. When you're on a call, you just first do no harm. You don't want to come on and be belligerent as he was. I mean, look, by my estimation, that guy's call cost you $1,000 yesterday. You got to be annoyed.
I'm not annoyed. I'm a super long-term investor, and I think the Wall Street analysts had this coming. I mean, the question that he cut them off on was basically already answered in the shareholder letter.
Yeah, but it's his job to answer it, Gali, whether or not he's upset about it or not.
I mean, it's his job to communicate with investors, and I think by talking to me, he got the broader questions that long-term investors wanted answered, and he's catering towards long-term investors, not Wall Street.
It's an analyst call.
Yeah. But I think the questions that I asked were more relevant to investing in Tesla than anything the analysts were covering. And I've gotten, hundreds of emails and tweets from people who are so happy that they finally got a voice and got some value from the call.
We've already analyzed Tesla in this show quite a bit. Yeah. What do you see that Wall Street isn't seeing about Tesla? Or that Moody's isn't saying Tesla.
Everybody sees them spending money and losses, but they're not diving into what they're actually spending money on. Tesla has a pattern of where they spend significant amounts of capital to build out production lines for these vehicles, and then 1 or 2 quarters later, they actually go free cash flow positive. This happened with the Model S and the Model X, and we're about to see the same thing with the Model 3. It's just the cyclical nature of investing up front in the auto business. And so the other big thing people aren't getting is Tesla's a totally unique distribution model. They have stores built by the same guy who designed the Apple stores. This means that with every new car, they just put it in the stores. They don't have to build new stores. This is why the operating leverage turns when the Model 3 hits scale, and that's when they're going to hit profitability.
Some people say that the reason retail investors like you are so interested in Tesla is that you just buy into Elon Musk. He's a celebrity CEO, and that's why you like him. It really has nothing to do with the fundamentals, because the fundamentals don't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's for people who I believe just aren't doing their homework. If you look under the hood, I mean, Tesla's cash balance was down $700 million this quarter. $655 million of that was capital investments to build out production lines. This is actually not a very capital-intensive business, despite what you'll read. And, it's not that I believe in Elon. I believe in history repeating itself, and history has shown that every single time Tesla launches a car, they make it free cash flow positive. It dominates the sector in terms of market share, and that's what's going to happen again with the Model 3.
Well, you are a very well-spoken young man. I do think, as I said, though, you were the only person who wasn't annoyed by your question was Elon Musk. So we'll wait to see if we hear you on any other calls. You think you'll be on any other calls?
I really hope so.
Okay, we'll be listening. Thanks so much, Gali. Appreciate you coming in.